So I was just on the treadmill and I was just going through my messages as I do pretty much every morning. And I saw something that has been happening, not a lot, but it's happened at least 10 times that I can say this has happened. And guys are reaching out to me. And I know I do the whole fitness thing and I talk about a lot of the fitness, which is what I like to do, but there's also the productivity side to me, which some of you see or some of you don't, I don't know. But something that I've actually touched upon briefly, very briefly, I didn't want to go over it too much, and that is because it wasn't something that I wanted to do, but I think sometimes the market decides, if you know what I mean. And today's going to be one of those videos, so it's not fitness related. This is, I don't even know if I can say this word on YouTube anymore, but it is the ORN videos related. Yeah, let's just call it that. The ORN related videos. Something that we all at one point or another, or one time or another, have fallen victim to. I'll tell you a little story. Yeah, go on then, seeing as though you like to hear, I like to be open on here, I'll tell you the story. When I was a young lad, very young, I can't remember the age, but I was very young. Now, unlike most of you guys who are watching this now, you have all the content of your videos, anything you want. You want to see the most attractive girl in any position, all you have to do is type it in here and you will find it. And now with AI technology, you can put anyone's face on there as well, from what I'm hearing. Back in those days though, it wasn't like that. What happened was this. There always was one little creepy guy in the area who was a little bit older, who never left his mum's house. And no, I'm not going to tell you a story where I got molested, because that didn't happen. But for those people who did, you know, it was the 80s, bro. These things happened. It was the 90s. These things happened. Get over it. Anyway, point is, there was always one guy in the area who had some magazines. And for some reason, this creepy guy had a hell of a lot of magazines. And we used to go around to his house and we used to play PlayStation. And we're lads at this point. We're not, we're not little kids, but we're guys, we're menaces, man. We're little shitheads, to be honest with you. Some of the shit that we used to do. And this was the first time I'd ever seen one of these magazines, and I was like, what the hell is this? And he's like, yeah, take one. All right, cool. I'll take one. I looked at it, I took it home and I had to hide it, put it down here, and you put it under your mattress, and every so often you look and you think, wow, is that what it looks like down there? So up until then you think it's at the front, but because ours is at the front, we don't realize it's actually not at the front. It's, whoa, and it's so close to the ass. That's so crazy. I know we had this conversation. I know a lot of you younger guys now will be watching this thinking, oops. A lot of you young guys will be watching this thinking, what is he on about? But trust me, bro, just think about it. We didn't know. We didn't see none of that crap. There was no internet those days. It was the first time I've ever seen a female naked. It was in a magazine, the first ever time. So it was like, is this real? Is this what it looks like? Okay. Oh, well, that's a bit strange. I didn't think it'd look like that. And then you get the magazines and you pass them around to a few mates. And that was the early days of it. Then you move on a little bit and the internet came around and it was dial-up connection. All this kind of crap was going on. Those guys know. What's it called? Was it called DSL? I don't know. What was it called? I don't know why it was called. Why am I saying DSLR? That's because of the cameras of DSLR. I don't know what it was called. But it was something, some initials anyway. Someone please write in the comments if you made it this far in the video, and please subscribe. So it was dial-up connection, and them days there was a website. And what we used to do in school was, so in our school, it was like, they called it technology college because there was like 30 computer screens, and no other schools at this time. This is like the late 90s. Yeah, late 90s. Late 90s in our school, no other school had that many computers in like one room. So it was called IT at the time. It's probably common now. You probably take your laptop into school nowadays, I don't know. But we never had any of that technology. So the only time you saw a computer screen was in school, and it was like the internet. So some of the lads found out a couple of websites, and what we used to do before the lesson started, we used to go on all the computers and type in the website. So, and then turn all the screens off and then sit down like nothing happened. And then what used to happen is the teacher used to come in, right, everybody go to your screens, and they turn the screen on, and boom, it's right in front of them. Because them days there was no restrictions on these kind of websites. So yeah, we got told off for that. I actually got expelled for that, but anyway, that's another story. So yeah, like I said, we were little shits, man. But, and then, while you're in these lessons, there's always another creepy guy who takes it a little bit far. And he came over and, I've got this website. It's got videos on it, not just pictures. We're like, what? Videos, bro? You see, just have a look at this. And he'll type it in, and the video was like a 10-second clip. Literally a 10-second clip, that's all it was. And you was like, wow, that's amazing. What the hell is that? But then you remembered that. And you thought, when I go home, I'm gonna put it into my computer and see what it is. And then obviously, you know, that's when you start to learn about it and you start to watch it a little bit more. And then all of a sudden you get a little bit older and someone's got a VHS. This is a VHS, bro. Watch this one. And same VHSs used to get passed around people. You put it in the VCR when your parents are out and you watch it and you think, whoa, this is amazing. And a majority of the stuff back in those days, I don't know if you remember this, if you're old as me, it was all German. Everything was German. No white people or no white guys or English speaking. Anyway, we're making movies like that. I don't know, it was just all German. I just remember everything being German. Even the names, the titles, the language, everything was German for some strange reason. But anyway, and what was the other one as well? So there was that. And then you slowly move on to college. And at this age, you're like 16, 17, 18. And the internet is still not big at the time. There's no one on the internet. You cannot put in, you know, any hub and watch, you know, the whole world of things on there that you can just type in anything in your craziest imagination. Threesomes, foursomes, fivesomes, this angle, that angle, whatever, it will come up. This didn't exist at the time. So the addiction to it wasn't there because in order for you to go and have one or knock one out, no one had to be at home for a start. You had to put the video in the VHS. And that's when it, you know, you could do something. So it was an addiction. You went out and actually met women. You went out and actually dated girls. And before you'd even dated anyone and done anything, you'd probably watched less than 10 minutes of any in your life, any videos. Just 10 minutes, like less than 10 minutes of any action live on screen in your life before you'd actually done the real thing yourself. And some guys had never even seen it until the real thing. That's how crazy it was back in the days. Just another story, just going back again. I remember being in the newsagents, and when I started in the newsagents, I used to buy bodybuilding magazines. And that was GAY as hell. Because bodybuilding magazine with a guy on the front cover who's ripped up, who's got his abs out, you know, Kevin Levrone, Ronnie Coleman, and these guys were jacked. And you take that to the front counter, and it was just as embarrassing as buying one of those mags. But then I remember some guys when we used to stand there, because back in the days, you used to go to W.H. Smith, and there used to be a row of guys just stood there looking through the magazines, literally looking. I don't know what they were reading, bro. They were just looking through it. So we used to do the same. We used to think, yeah, let's go there. So we used to go into town, get the magazines off. You couldn't do it in your local, because if you did that in your local, the guy knew. The guy knew you, he knew your dad, he knew your family, he knew your grand, he knew everybody. So you could never do that in your local, but if you went to town, W.H. Smith, you could do that. You'd grab it off the top shelf, and you'd put it inside another magazine, like a wrestling mag, and you'd just be flicking through. I don't know why. We did that. I don't know if you guys did that back in the days. If anyone else did, please, I'd like to hear your stories as well. But yeah, we definitely did that. Anyway, point is, hopefully this video is not too long, but moving forward, even up until the age of 20, it never really watched it, never really thought anything of it, but it was there. Then it started becoming accessible. Then we got the iPhones. I think I was like 22 or something like that when I got the first iPhone, something like that. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. What the hell is this? So you get your phone, and then you realize the whole internet's on your phone. You think, wow, this is crazy. And you're never really addicted to it. You never watch it. But every so often you turn it on and off. You know it's there. You know if you want to bust one out quick time, it's there. But then as you kind of progress through life a little bit, and these things become normal. You start to discuss this with your friends. And then you feel or you realize how much of an issue it is for most guys. Luckily for me, it never was. Some guys are doing it 3, 4, 5 times a week. Sorry, a day. A day, some guys are knocking this off 5 times a day. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, that's a regular. I'm thinking, holy shit, bro. That ain't normal. And it isn't normal. And then we fast forward to today's society. And like I said about the women nowadays are really bad. Don't get me wrong, you have not got the best selection of females out there right now. I would hate to be dating right now with the selection out there. It's terrible. And then when they watch all this internet stuff and they watch all this women empowering movements, and which is just garbage, to be honest with you, it's absolute garbage, they get their head even more bigger. And then you've got some fat chick on Instagram who posts a little picture and all the guys in the DM are saying, you look amazing, you're so hot, you're so this, you're so that. Oh my God, of course it's gonna put off a guy. You're thinking this is some fat, weird looking chick, and I can't even pull her because she's got her head so far up her ass because everyone else is gassing her up. Then you go on Tinder, and the statistic on Tinder from what I've heard is only the top 5% guys are getting 90% of the pussy. That doesn't leave a lot for the rest of the guys. That leaves like 10% of rejected chicks for the other 90% or 95% of dudes. So I'm not surprised dating's bad out there. And I'd hate to be dating in this society anyway. But then if you're fat on top of that, and you ain't got a six-pack, and you ain't got a Lamborghini, it's hard enough for you anyway. So I can understand how guys will turn to the videos. I can understand how guys will turn to the internet just to get their socks off, if that's even a term anymore. And the problem with that is, the issue with that is because you become desensitized to the whole thing. You don't then want females, and we know this because this happened to many people, many guys out there. You hear about it, you know about it, you understand it. That imagine if you could type in the most attractive female you've ever seen and she's getting done by 10 dudes. What's left, bro, to the imagination? What's left for you to feel aroused? What's next? It becomes more and more extreme. It becomes more and more crazy. You know, we used to joke around when I had the gym, especially with the lads, and we used to be like, we don't watch vanilla sex no more. Guy and a girl. You know, we don't even watch that no more. It has to be backdoor action. Minimum 2 guys, 4 girls. You know, 3 different races. You know, it has to be that kind of stuff. And that is the truth. That is the reality. That's what happens, bro. People become desensitized to it. And then that is why there's a high rate of divorces now as well, because when you are jacking off non-stop, how have you got enough energy to do your wife? You ain't even going to want to do your wife unless your wife was doing all these kind of moves back in the day. What really is she going to do? You know, how submissive can she be? You know, slap her around and do all the crazy, nasty stuff that you see on there. That's for the videos. And then there's certain cultures that like to air their laundry online and talk about how they like to do nasty stuff to each other, and it becomes part of their culture. And just because it's part of their culture, it ain't part of our culture, it ain't part of everybody's culture, and it's not right. It doesn't make it right just because society makes it right. There's a lot of things out there that society make okay, that make right. But the reality of it is, this thing is the devil. It's here. We are in hell when you're watching that. Now this ain't no Christian preaching. No, I'm telling you straight up, bro. You want to get ahead in life, you need to knock down the head. And this isn't even one of those things about, what do they call it, no fap, 30 days. And this ain't even about that, bro. I don't even agree with that garbage. What the hell's that all about, bro? Enjoy it, fap all you want. Don't get addicted to this shit. Don't get hooked on this shit. Don't let this shit become your life. This is insane. There's a lot of people out there that are hooked on it. There's a lot of people out there that are stuck on it. They don't know how to get out. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to turn to. Like, yo, we're stuck, man. So, I've helped a few guys through this. And hopefully the tip that I'm about to give you now is going to help you. And it's very easy. First of all, don't watch it. Put some bar on your phone. If you can't control yourself, put yourself through rehab. Put a bar on your phone on it. I don't know, you can do that somehow nowadays. Figure it out. Give someone else the password to it. Don't watch it. If you ever feel the urge to go and do that, do 50 press-ups, bro. You'll get fitter whilst not thinking about that. And then here's the other big one. Sometimes I might use this. Look at yourself and think to yourself, is this what a respectable warrior would do? Is this what somebody who's leading an army would do? Is this what somebody out there who are people looking up to? Imagine your families and friends watching you do this act of degeneracy. Is this what you think you've become? Is this what you want to leave behind? And I know it sounds deep, I know it sounds a bit crazy, and I know it sounds like, what is he saying? Just don't jack off quickly. I'm saying yes. Don't let this consume you. Fight it head on. And if you want to do it, put yourself a timer on, bro. Say, all right, I'm going to do this once a day if you're really addicted to it. Then I'm going to do it twice a week. Set yourself time aside to it and see if you want to do it then. Say 9 p.m. on a Friday night, I'm going to do this act. See how good you feel then. Because you ain't going to feel good. You're going to be like, what the hell am I doing? Now, don't get me wrong, bro. If you've got your shit in order, finances, life, family, relationships, all in order, and you just like jacking off, then jack off, bro. I ain't need to tell you no, but I'm just telling you, people have been in my inbox saying to me, Fadi, we're stuck. We don't know what to do. And I didn't even know this was an issue until I started watching other people. And so I started watching like Jordan Peterson come out with a couple of things. And I think Andrew Tate mentioned it, or Tristan mentioned it as well. You know, this is an actual thing. And I didn't realize it was an actual thing. I didn't realize people were consumed by it. And I heard one thing by Jordan Peterson saying that, imagine back in the days when, you know, like the beauties, or so-called beauties of the earth, Cleopatra and all these kind of guys, that kind of time. If you saw one female, that's the only image you held in your mind, and you thought, oh, that's true beauty. That is amazing. Or if you only ever saw your own wife, that is the true essence of beauty. But nowadays, you can see that times 10 on your phone within 30 seconds. What does that then do to that beauty standard? You don't hold it in much regard. You don't hold it as anything. But if that is the 10-10, where are you going to go find your 11 out of 10? You ain't going to find it. It's not going to satisfy you. You're going to do whatever you want and it ain't going to satisfy you. Just like money doesn't mean dick to people who have it. If you're born a rich Arab prince or whatever, what's a Bugatti to you, bro? That's like me buying a water bottle. That's like me getting gassed about, oh, I bought a new under-table treadmill. So cool. I get gassed for, I don't know, 5 minutes. It's so cool. It's so small. Look how flat it is. Oh my God, it can fold as well. That's what Bugattis would be to somebody who's born a billionaire. Don't mean anything. They become desensitized to things. Whereas back in the days, we used to get like a little kid as a toy, and you get like a toy. You're playing with that toy for months. For months. I mean, my mum would throw away a battered toy after a year. And if I came back from school, I'm like, where's that toy gone? Where's it gone? I knew about every single thing. Because even something small as like a piece of plastic, my daughter at the minute will pick up and she'll be like holding onto it. I want this. I'm like, what do you want with it? She's fascinated by it. It's crazy. You know, kids are fascinated by rocks. Why? Because they have that sense, that urge, that curiosity. Don't ever let that die. Especially when it comes to real life humans. Don't become so desensitized to it. Think of it as a bad thing, in a sense. But know how to control it. If you're like me, you can control certain urges. I'm a guy who likes to put myself in positions to control those kind of things. I live in Thailand for half the year. Do you know what's on my doorstep in Thailand? Do you even know what's on my doorstep in Thailand, bro? 20-pound pussy, bro. Every single day I could be having one. Every single hour. And I won't even feel it, not even in my wallet. But is that it, bro? I could have it. Most guys can't do it. They can't hack it. That's why most people go out there. They can't survive. They can't last. They lose all their money. They go crazy because they've never had it in abundance like that. You have to control yourself. You have to think, hang on a minute. This is not why I'm here. I shouldn't be feeling all this great pleasures because every single thing in life is 50-50. Don't ever forget that. We breathe in half the time. We breathe out half the time. Your heart pumps blood in half the time and pumps blood out half the time. You can only feel good half of the time. Are you going to waste it on that? Because the shit feeling is coming, bro. The shit feeling is coming. So the 50% of time you've got to feel good, do not waste it. Don't waste it on sat there holding your own dick in your hand. That's going to be your 50% of feeling good. Because I can guarantee you, it's written. I don't give a shit whether you believe it or not, it's written. 50% of your life is going to be shit. You got to pick the good 50%. You don't get to pick the bad 50%. That is happening, bro. 100%. That is happening. And you don't get to pick it. You don't get to pick it unless you decide to pick it. But that's another purpose up there. You know, pick your poison, but that's a different one now. That's another video. We ain't even gonna get into that one. If you do want to hear about that kind of stuff, then comment down below. I'll start talking about that kind of shit. But picking your poison is another realm we haven't even stepped into. But just know 50% of your life is gonna be shit. So don't make the good 50% of you sat there holding your dick in your hand. Anyway, hopefully this gave you some value and some entertainment. Comment down below and please subscribe.